Hi, and thanks so much for joining me for Everyday Vlogmas Day 19. These also just arrived in the mail, so I thought we would put them together with this look. We've got the Natural Finish Fluid Foundation, and I have mine in the shade, I don't remember. Let me see. I got mine in 260W. Let's see. Okay, we might be okay. We have another one as well. I also did pick up the Silk Priming Serum. I do have on eye makeup. I just used Chanel 308, and I think that's it, yeah. And that's the only palette I used on my eyes, as well as the Tom Ford liquid liner Noir Intense, and also Jasper right here in the waterline. And Chantecaille mascara, as well as eyebrows. Oh, and concealer, my usual concealer. I picked up both the primer, it's called the Silk Priming Serum, as well as the foundation. This is called the Natural Finish Fluid Foundation. So let's go ahead and apply, let me just put primer on one side of my face. Now, generally things look better when they're on my left side, so let's apply it to the right side because, I don't know, everything seems to just look better on the left side. It has a very fluid feel about it, nice and lightweight. Has a slight fragrance to it, like a floral kind of fragrance, nothing strong. Okay, I should probably read about this a little bit. Yeah, it feels hydrating, and it has a slip to it. Soft, supple, and instantly hydrating, the new Silk Priming Serum creates a luminous natural finish, whether used alone or as a base for a more full coverage look. So you can use it alone. Let me see, I don't know if that's really making a difference in terms of alone. I think there's a slight like sheen to it, maybe. Very, very slight. It says to warm a small amount on a sanitized palette or your hands and then apply using your fingertips. You can use a sponge or a foundation brush. I just use my fingers here. Luminous natural finish. It says for even tone and plumping. So I don't know, we can take a look here. And then it's translucent, so it didn't add any color. Imbued with a spherical powder for seamlessly silky application. It says it contains natural origin agents and olive emollients for a refreshing and hydrating effect without blocking pores. It says it can be worn to blur pores. So let's see, is it blurring my pores? I have pretty prominent, I think, enlarged pores, or at least they're just more enlarged than they used to be. I think there's a little bit of blurring, sure. Animal friendly and a vegan formula. Feels a little bit like my Chantecaille SPF primer, like that kind of feel. There's like a smoothness about it. So let's take a look before I put the foundation on. I can see, I'm looking in the viewfinder here, because this is so reflective here, like I can really see it's a little bit shinier on this side without the primer. So let's go in with the foundation. Now this was really interesting because they had you put your arm up next to the swatch on the actual website on your phone, and that helped to determine your shade. But I don't know. I don't know how well I did here. When I picked this shade, then it went to a model that kind of looked like me, so that helped a lot too. But now that I'm looking at it, I don't know if it's, I don't know if it's going to be like have that brightness that I like. Mine is in 260W. So there are 40 shades here, and usually that's a lot harder for me to pick a shade when there are more choices because there are so many differences with the undertones. I don't know, let me know, is it harder for you when there are more shades to pick? It's just so strange. Anytime I've tried to purchase a foundation when there are a lot of shades, I'm usually wrong when I pick. It's supposed to be comfortable, lightweight, and completely buildable. Okay, can be adorned as a barely there finish or a subtle full coverage look. It says, apply using your fingertips to achieve light coverage. Okay, let's do that first and then we'll go in with my brush and see if it makes a difference. Lightweight, long wearing. It has innovative soft focus powder technology that transforms texture for effortless and precise application. So it does say again, to use your fingertips. It feels very creamy. Okay, so this shade isn't far off. It's a little bit warm for me, but it does say W, so can you see? Yeah. Oh, I didn't want to put that much. Let's see if we can get a little bit thinner here. So I'm gonna go really thin here. It does have a nice texture to it, so I like that. It feels easy to blend. Here's a thin layer with the side with no primer. Let's go in with the side with primer and see what the difference is. With the primer, it feels like a much smoother application. This side has no primer, and this side has primer. No primer, primer. Actually, I think the shade match is pretty good. I do see more, okay, so that's interesting. I do see that I need to blend it a little bit better here on the side with no primer, and over here it was really smooth going on. So let's see, I feel like it looks smoother too, because I have just a little bit of like dryness right here right now, and I can see that is more evident than on this side with the primer. I mean, it's a slight difference, but if I go really close, I can see it. Yeah, it's a smoother surface here because of that primer. Let's go in with a little bit more, and then this time I'm going to use my brush and see how that works, and I'm going to go right here in the front. It does go on better with this brush for me versus my hands. This is just a really good brush anyway. It's the Shiseido one. That's pretty good coverage because if you saw my discoloration before, I almost don't need concealer. I wonder if I can get away with no concealer today. What do we think? Let's see if I can get away with no concealer today because I have the Gucci powder and it does add a little bit of color. So I have the shade number 5, which I really like. I know this is harder to get a hold of, but it's a really lovely one. Yeah, I just looked in the mirror and the coverage is pretty good. Let me just put a little bit more on my forehead though, and then we'll kind of see really what kind of coverage we can get with just the foundation and the powder. Actually, I don't know if there's a time I haven't applied concealer to my face. Is there? That's pretty good. Actually, these, of course, work really nicely together. I have number 3 and number 4, so I'm going to mix them together. Let's go in with the Soyeux blush. You know, I am just going to put a little concealer right under here because I have broken capillaries. Also, I'm going to touch up my concealer right in the darkest area. Okay, that actually did a really nice job in terms of covering and me not needing concealer for like once in my life. I'm going to add a lip. I've got Gucci here, Oddly Red. Oh, forgot about this color, it's pretty. So just looking back on their claims, lightweight, yes, long wearing, I don't know, I haven't worn it that long yet, but I will do a wear test. The soft focused powder technology transforms the texture for effortless and precise application. It was effortless, I don't know what they mean by precise, but I guess it was even going on, more even on the side with primer. Non-greasy blurring effect. So you could see I didn't apply concealer, so I don't know if that was more from the blurring or from the actual coverage, but it was good enough that I didn't need to go in with a concealer, at least. I think from here it doesn't look like I need concealer. Back to the primer, it says translucent, yes, natural finish, even tone and plumping effect. I really don't know if I have a plumping effect though on this side. Again, now that I have all of my makeup on. But initially I did see that. I think it'd be interesting to do a long wear test because that might be when I would see the difference between primed versus not primed in the long term. So I'll also make sure to work that into a long wear test in the future. They also did say to use it with this, which I don't use. I don't know, let's put some on and let's just see. Yeah, this is that gel that you can use to highlight. It's working well with these, so that's good. So if you like that dewy kind of finish. It works, but yeah, this doesn't set on me. There it is. So far, my first impression is a really nice foundation. I think the trickiest part is finding your shade. Although matching it to my arm on the phone with their images seemed to work. I don't know how it's gonna work for everybody, but it definitely helped narrow the shades I was looking at because I really had no idea. So let me know if you're interested in this foundation and other questions you have so that when I do a long wear test, I can make sure to weave all of that information in. Please take care of each other, stay well. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow.